Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Robin Boyd and Sandra Beck, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the many resources that are available in both the public and private sector, and we'll be sharing helpful information from women all over the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio, and here are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2014. This is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, and we are starting our 5th year on the air, which is very exciting, Rob. I feel like I'm getting older on the air, but today we're going to learn how to get younger.
That's right. Today we'll get younger, not older, but we're getting better as we go along. I hope, anyway. Aging is a sign of getting better, so...
Yeah, I got to tell you though, this year was a great New Year's for me, because I just sat on the couch. I texted 25 people at once, and I didn't even move, and I barely even saw the ball drop.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see the ball drop. I think we were up, but I didn't watch the ball. I just said, it's New Year's. It's kind of nice to celebrate it all day long and just kind of know that the day is coming. And I've been writing 2014, though, on a lot of stuff at work. So it just sort of kind of all of a sudden, okay, I can write it on everything now.
I know. I did that. I was doing all my planning over the holiday. I planned out, both radio shows for the year and just in my own planner, not that we booked everybody for the year. But, it was so weird when I finally saw it is 2014, but I'm sure I'm going to write checks backwards. I know.
Oh, everybody does. I know. It's always hard. And it's always hard not to get caught up in, I'm going to change. You change over the calendar, and then I usually put new folders on my desk because I need to sort of cull out the old things and sort of get reorganized. And I always start out the year well, and then somehow the year piddles along and things get more chaotic. And then come December, my desk is askew. And I try. It's very hard to stay on top of everything, though, when you start out so new and neat and clean with a new year.
Well, yeah, you get worn out. You put it so eloquently. You're like, things get askew. And I'm like, I was thinking my God, I was crawling through December. It's on my hands and knees into my office going, for the love of God, if there's an earthquake, I'm just going to get buried alive. But I did the same thing. I cleaned my whole office. I pulled everything off the shelves. I wiped them off. I found ants that had died in August. Remember when I had all those ants in my office and I sprayed?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're finally getting the little corpses out of there. It only took 4 months.
Just to let you know, I was going to make I didn't have them, and I was going to make little chocolate ants, not chocolate covered ants, but I wanted to send them to you, and I never got to it. So I was thinking of you, though.
I ate ants last year. I left a bag of Jacks, Bachman Jacks. I think you can only get those on the East Coast. My family sends them to me in a box, and I left them open, and it was dark, and I was working on my computer. It was 2 a.m, and I stuck my hand in, and I'm like, oh God, they taste kind of bitter and weird. And I turned the light on. Oh my God, I haven't eaten, and they were all dead in there. And since then I have not eaten another cheese puff because there was 40 ants that had crawled in there and died, and all I could think is, God, if the cheese puffs killed them, what is that doing to me?
It's amazing, what our bodies will tolerate, and then it's amazing how quickly those kinds of things happen, though, when you stop and think about it. I don't know what the produce is like out there for you, but I have bought things literally the next morning. I'll go to take a piece of bread or a piece of fruit, and it'll either have the mold on it or it'll be soft and swishy, and would have been fine at the store. I don't know what happens in New England. I guess because they have to truck everything up here, maybe.
Yes, I like mold. I mean, I love blue cheese. I mean, I do. And speaking of mold, I am making this year my own sauerkraut. Speaking of fermentation, and I was so excited because my dad is living with me, and he really wanted some sauerkraut, and we drove all over to every grocery store, and they only had canned stuff, and it just isn't really good once it's canned or jarred, and so I am making sauerkraut, and you want to know how easy it is?
Is it really easy?
It's so easy.
No
like
kidding.
It's sinful. You shred up the cabbage like with a knife, just cut it all up.
Yeah.
Throw it in a tub, fill it with water, and add salt and let it sit there.
Really? No vinegar?
See, no, there is no vinegar in there. And then you take the cabbage leaves, the outer ones, and you put them on the outside because they mold a little bit. It takes about 4 weeks for the stuff to ferment and cure.
Oh.
And so I was really excited because I thought, here I'm going to have to boil stuff and shred stuff. And it's like, I cut the cabbage up, I threw it, and I used a crock, just an old planter. And I put the crock in there and threw it in there and added the water, and the salt causes, I don't know, something to leach out of the cabbage. But, it's so good for you because it's loaded with vitamin C. It's got all these health benefits, and it's great on hot dogs and, bratwurst and pastrami, all those things that I love to eat. It's great.
I have always liked cabbage. I mean, my father was Polish and Lithuanian descent. So yeah, we always had galumkis or stuffed cabbages and cabbage soup and all of that kind of thing. And then when the hot diet went around, that weight loss diet that was a cabbage based soup, I ate it because I really liked it. And I do enjoy a nice cabbage soup. So making my own sauerkraut is really exciting to me. I think that would be really wonderful. Yeah. Because you're right, there's so many preservatives. If we can make, and I think so many times military families find this too, is that you don't know quite what you're getting in a new part of the country because there's a new brand, or all of a sudden there's you can't get the brand that you normally would, and if some people are sensitive to certain ingredients, it's really hard. So knowing that you can make these things on your own is really great.
Well, yeah, especially because, like here, I'm living out in California, and, to try to find good sauerkraut to save your life in Southern California is just forget it.
Yeah.
And so, learning to make some of these things. And I went to YouTube. I was like, wonder how you make it. And, just on a lark. And then I'm like, wow, a monkey could do that. If you could pick up a salt shaker and shake, you could make sauerkraut.
So easy. Well, I'm definitely going to try it. We should probably do a cooking show one of these days. That's what we need to do, is cooking out of the PX.
Rob, I'm right there with you. I think we should have a cooking. We can belly dance on the air on my other show. We can cook on this one. Why not?
That's right. I think so. I think we need to do that because they're not only good cooking from scratch recipes, but also some of the things, and maybe we could even get our guest in on this kind of conversation. There are so many things like cucumber or whatever that we could be using instead of spending money on creams that are good for our skin and whatnot.
So we'll have to. It's my new thing, Rob. $1.29 a head. You grind it up, and you don't have to use cream.
Oh, that's perfect. We'll have to talk about that. We've got Jackie Silver in the wings waiting to come on. She is aging backwards, and she's going to share secrets, tips, and shortcuts from her book and from her website and from the wonderful brain that she carries around with her every day that all of us love to call from. Stay tuned. We'll be back with Jackie Silver.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Do you feel like when you watch a cooking show or read a food magazine that the recipes are not practical for a busy family? Do you wish you could have a conversation with someone about the best way to get dinner on the table fast after a long day at work? Are you tired of cooking dinner only to have your family turn up their nose at all of your hard work? Do you want to hear more about healthy living and finding more time to find your passion in life? Well, pull up a chair and visit with Heather Tallman, host of Around the Kitchen Sink, Thursday nights at 10 p.m. here on TogiNet Radio. Like many women, finding balance in life and time to take care of yourself is hard to do. Between managing a career and marriage and children and a busy family schedule, it's hard to maintain a sense of self. And Heather shares how she does it. Check out Heather's website, basilmama.com. Join us for food and a whole lot more on Around the Kitchen Sink with your host, Heather Tallman, Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
It's time to devote time to yourself and strap yourself in for a fun, down-to-earth, enthusiastic, compassionate, easy-to-understand discussion on the unlimited ways you can be all that you want to be. Join us for Bee Institute Radio with Christine McKee on TogiNet Radio. Each week, Christine will have lively and open discussions and interviews, share stories and case studies, and hear from experts on the topic of the week. Christine, a registered psychologist from Australia and published author of Bee by Design, How I Bee Is Up to Me, hosts lively discussions and interviews every Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Red, white, and blue.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, and contrary to popular belief, this is not Zombie Talk Radio. This is Military Mom Talk Radio, and Jackie Silver, our guest, has brought her brain today. Right, Rob?
And her laugh and her smile and her beautiful sense of humor. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you guys.
Listen, I'm so honored to be the first guest of the new year. Thank you.
Yay! Well,
Because we don't want to get older. That's why you're here.
Of course.
We're trying to turn back time.
Who wouldn't want to?
So, Jackie, I'm going to ask you, what's your stance on resolutions? I'm a big resolution person. I wrote out 40 of them this year, and I posted them, all over my house. And, I'm already an epic failure with like 4 of them by December 6th or January 6th. Rob, I know you're not a big resolution maker.
no, I'm not.
So,
Okay,
Jackie,
well-
you're the swing vote.
First of all, how many of those 40 are you going to keep? That's one of the reasons why I don't like that plan.
Well, I figure with 40 of them, if I keep 2, I'm better than, starting out with 3 and, not doing any.
Well, here's the thing. I used to write a long list of resolutions also. You're a lot younger than me, so you haven't progressed to not writing the
Just say that
resolutions.
again. What was that?
Pardon?
I just want you to be telling me how young I am.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Let me repeat. You're a lot younger than me, so you haven't realized the resolution list thing. But you know what? Every year I've written resolutions, and of course you always break some of them or all of them or whatever. But this year I didn't write any resolutions. Instead, I normally do make a vision board, but this year I made a vision movie. So I took all these things that I wanted to manifest in my life, and I went into iMovie and I put a great music that I love, and I made a little movie for my resolutions instead.
I love that. I'm going to do it all. I already have my vision board done, and did my, I don't know, my manifestations, which, include a man. um, but
That's why
the
we call
movie
it
is cool.
manifest.
Is iMovie free, or is that some Apple iPad thing that nobody else has because we can't afford iPads?
I didn't hear what you said about the iPad thing, but I was saying that's why they call it manifestation, because there's a man involved.
So iMovie, is that an Apple product, or is that?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, iMovie is Apple, but you can make it in any kind of editing program that you have.
Yeah, I'm going to make my own movie.
Do it and take those 40 resolutions and find pictures that go with them anywhere. Since you're not putting it out to the public, you can take pictures right off of Google or any search engine. It's just for you. And you can find 40 pictures to go with those 40 resolutions and put them in your movie with nice music and manifest it all.
Oh, I love that. Because, my manifestations, some of them are pretty simple. It's like have a better relationship with Max, my son, have a better relationship with Zach, my other son, make time for my dogs, to play with them and throw the tennis ball around. They're not earth shattering, I'm going to solve cancer, lose 40 pounds and, redo my teeth. Kind of resolutions, but there are things that I get lost along the year. And, Rob, I want to ask you, when you have kids and dogs and a company, how do you not get lost yourself? You were very successful in, I think, retaining yourself. You raised your children. You're a cancer survivor. How do you just keep from getting lost? And then Jackie, I'm going to ask you the same question.
I find I compartmentalize. I try not to overlap a lot. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you're going to pick up the kids and you have to make a phone call along the way. But I try and compartmentalize so that I'm not filing something that belongs with something else, or I'm not calling the wrong person, or the phone number is in the wrong file. And I think that's my sanity, and it may be too structured for some people or not able to, but I find that if I'm going to do a block of time with the kids, I do the block of time with the kids when they were younger. Or if I'm doing calls for clients, I would block that time, and I would make sure I either had a mother's helper with the kids, or I would have know that the kids were busy with somebody else, so that I would have that block of time. That was kind of how I got through cancer too. I just wrote an article about that, which I'll be posting pretty soon for you as well on that. That was my issue, was just compartmentalizing.
Okay, so when we compartmentalize, we talk about like we've got the iMovie, and then we've got my list of resolutions, or Jackie talked about the vision board. Jackie, how do you do it? And you have a vision board story for us.
I do have a vision board story, so I'll tell that first, and then if we still have time, we can talk about how I compartmentalize. Enough said, I'm a Gemini, so I'm born compartmentalizing. But the vision board story is a few years ago, I put on my vision board, Oprah Calls Me, and that was on January 1st. Well, on January 17th, I got an email from someone saying, this is the producer at the Oprah show, and we want your phone number. And I thought, okay, who's punking me, right? But I did give them my phone number, and within 5 minutes from the 312 area code, I got a call from a producer at Oprah. I did not get on the show, so I think I should have been more specific on my vision board than Oprah calls me.
Because she did. She called you.
Now back to compartmentalizing, okay? I make a lot of little lists and deadlines for myself. People don't like to work out, and one of the number one resolutions people make is to lose weight / work out more. And one of the tricks I use is I make a deadline for myself. I'm going to work out at noon. I'm going to put my workout clothes on at 5 minutes to 12. I'm going to be there at 12. I make all these little deadlines, and besides getting things done, it's also very gratifying because I can cross things off my list.
I like that. That's a sense of accomplishment.
Exactly.
Now, how do you like? I'm a compulsive list maker, and I just don't do it. Like, where's the connection between like I'm organized with my notebooks and my lists and my calendars, and then I sit there and I go, ugh.
You know why? I know the feeling. Because we make these long lists and they seem so overwhelming. And that's the hard part. The hard part is always just getting started. So what I like to do is do the worst first. I find the worst thing on my list and I just try to get it over with. And once you do that and you feel that accomplishment of getting the worst first, then you can go on to get some other things done. You may not get it all done in one day. It's not going to be the end of the world.
And I think that's a good point, Jackie, in that I find it's all well and good to have a goal, say, for the month, but on your daily calendar, only put a couple of things down. Don't put everything on the Monday and then think that you're going to peck away at it on the Monday. My feeling is, all right, there's two things that I really need to get. I do have an appointment. I've got to go to that, and I really need to write X today, and that's all I'm going to put on there. And then if I have time, I'll get to something else. But yeah, if you overload your day, your list, and expect to do it all in one day, that's when you feel like you haven't accomplished anything, even if you get 2 or 3 done.
Well,
Do you
yeah,
guys ever feel like when you're organized that like life lacks spontaneity?
who wants to take that first?
You can go ahead, Jackie, go for it.
Okay, I'll take that one. You know what? I think spontaneity is a little overrated, personally. I don't know. I used to be a little more spontaneous when I was a lot younger, but I still feel as if it's better to be prepared and be on a schedule. And I think for me, that works well and it keeps my stress levels down. And stress is the number one cause of aging. Yes, cigarettes are bad. Yes, overtanning is bad, but there's nothing worse than chronic stress. So anytime that you can lower your stress, and if being spontaneous to you is what lowers your stress, go for it. But for me, being organized and getting things done and sticking to my, what I'm doing is what keeps my stress level low.
I think, too, when you have younger kids, you do have to not load up your calendar so that all of a sudden when the kids need to sit down and play a round of Monopoly or whatever, you have the ability to sit down and play Go Fish with them or play Monopoly with them. I think that that's part of being spontaneous, is knowing that your day isn't so booked so that you can have that opportunity. Or maybe some of our military families, all of us, they don't know when that call is going to come from overseas, and all of a sudden their loved one is going to have the opportunity to call in. They need to make sure that their day has that flexibility so that there is some spontaneity in their day. I think there again, it's making sure that you don't overload your schedule so that you're not stressed out if all of a sudden your little one is whining and tugging at you. Mom, look what I just colored. Can you color with me? Because sitting down and coloring is one of the most therapeutic things in the world.
God, really? I want to stick those crayons in my eyes and scream. I didn't like it as a kid. They always told me to pick I like the sky brown, and it just was a very painful thing, and I couldn't stay in the lines, but that's for another show.
You
But
know
you
what?
don't have to stay in
I
the
love
lines.
coloring. I love coloring. I love staying in the lines. Coloring can relieve stress.
Mhm. You know what, Sandra? Don't color in the lines. Take a blank piece of paper, and if you like a montage that looks like a stained glass or that looks like a beautiful sunset, put it all over the place.
That's true. I will do that. I'm my own free spirit.
You know what's fun to do? Take tissue paper and glue. When the kids were little, we used to do that. And then you never know quite how they're going to come out. And it kind of comes out with this random stained glass. And it's a beautiful effect, and the kids will have fun with you. Today we have Jackie Silver, and she's helping us age backwards. She has all kinds of tips and wonderful affirmations. She's a frequent television and radio guest, and we're so glad that she's our guest today. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of Jackie Silver right after the break.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Join us for Self-Aid Success Stories with Helen Wu. Wednesday nights at 10, 9 Central on TogiNet.com. Helen Wu was born and raised in San Francisco's Chinatown. And after a very difficult upbringing, fighting depression, abuse, and addictions, she finally finds herself genuinely happy inside and out. Helen believes in taking our positive thinking and doing something positive to achieve a positive outcome. She's here to make a positive difference in your life, to be your game changer, your aha moment mentor. She's ready to help both men and women get into a better place. Helen Wu is also the author of Self-Aid Success Stories, 25 success stories from successful entrepreneurs. Inspired by Ellen DeGeneres, Helen wants the world to know that just because we find ourselves in a difficult situation doesn't mean we have to stay there. We can aid ourselves to a better life. So join us for Self-Aid Success Stories with Helen Wu. Wednesday nights at 10, 9 Central on TogiNet.com. Connect with Juliana and connect with what lies beneath. Friday afternoons at 4, 3 Central on TogiNet.com. Juliana is certified as a life coach who wants people to connect. Connect with what lies beneath, those truths and answers. And through her counseling practice, she has helped others find their personal power and fulfill their dreams. And she wants to do the same for you here on Connect with Juliana. Through intimate discussions, intriguing subject matters, and the expertise of her guests. For more on Juliana and her show, check out her website, connectwithjuliana.com. Juliana will cover it all. Nothing is off limits. She wants to know what matters to you. Make the connection. Tune in to TogiNet to connect with Juliana to find out the facts that could be hidden beneath the surface. Connect with Juliana on TogiNet to make a quality connection in your life. Friday afternoons at 4, 3 Central on TogiNet.com.
'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck. That's the lullaby part of our show. Every time we get to the midpoint, we have all these upbeat songs that we have, and there ain't no way. And I just sit here with my mug of tea, jazzing out with the music and zoning out. Well, we are talking with Jackie Silver today. My name is Sandra Beck, and my lovely co-host Robin Boyd has something to celebrate. Actually, she has 2 things to celebrate this week. And Rob, why don't you tell us what it is?
Well, I'll tell you 3 things to celebrate. I had a birthday, and I am just almost at the 60 mark, and I'm not there quite yet, but just touching the 60. And my son turned 30. And the other celebration we have is that next week is our 37th wedding anniversary. So January was a busy month for us.
You kind of got to space it out a little better, Rob.
I know.
You can't get 3 gifts in 1 week, but we have something Jackie and I are going to do for you. We're going to sing to you happy birthday.
Oh, my word.
Happy birthday to you. Where's Jackie?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robin. And your son who turned 30.
Yes.
Solo.
My son is a music teacher and an alternate announcer for New Hampshire Public Radio, and they are getting married in the spring, so lots of good things are ahead of us in 2014. And that's the thing I think that's wonderful about aging backwards is not dreading something, I guess letting go of the past and looking forward to the future. But how, Jackie, I know Sandra's going to have a lead-in question for you probably, and I'm probably jumping the gun, but how can we look forward to a year if we've had a rotten, we haven't personally had a rotten year, but when you've had
mine
a
was.
year that's,
I'll be the first one to wasn't. It was rotten. It sucked. You know what? I'm not going to swear this year. That's resolution number 37. But go ahead.
Okay. How do we start the year looking positive when you've had some struggles in the past year?
Well, you know what? I'm kind of dealing with that a bit myself. Everyone always thinks I'm just the happy-go-lucky girl, and I am. But, sometimes people keep things hidden, and you don't really know what's going on inside a person. And I'm sure a lot of people listening right now are probably about to burst into tears because that applies to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I've decided on my own is, I can change my mind. This is a new year, new slate. I can change my mind and look at things differently, and I can look at everything in a positive light. Not that I'm going to be Pollyanna and put my head in the sand and act like nothing's going on, but really, you know what? I am going to control my world. I'm not letting the world control me. And I think you really can change your own mind. I've read a lot about it. I've written a book about it. But you know what? We can change our minds, and we just have to put our mind to it.
Or we could just go, it can't get any worse. That's all I thought on 2014. I put that thing up Facebook, with the polar bear, like face down in his tank, with his head in the water, going, oh, we survived 2013. Here comes 2014. Though I will say that I am remarkably hopeful for God knows what reason. I guess I just got to the point, you guys, where I couldn't stress anymore. I was so stressed out last year that my hair started to fall out. My skin got all crummy, and honest to God, you guys, I don't want to live another year like the last 2 years. And so I'm hopeful that 2014 will be better.
Same here. But that's the thing, we have to all just cling together and support each other and help each other and stay positive. And I really feel different. Even though it's only been, a few days into the new year, I really feel good about it. I feel like good things are going to happen. Okay, it's going down to 10 degrees in New York City tonight, where I happen to be right now. But you know what? I'm staying positive. I like snow. I like cold weather.
It's hard to mentally get rid of baggage. And I think it's all well and good that we say, oh, that's a done deal. It was a legal issue. It's over with. Or that was something that I took care of last year. I finished that bill, or I paid that bill. But there's always those residual things. And I think it's difficult to let go. We're human. And it's like a grudge, or it's like you say, oh, I shouldn't have had to have paid that bill. Why did I pay that bill? Or I don't know. It could be so many different things.
Well, and it can be a habit. I will tell you that. It can be a habit.
That's very true, too. And I think getting control of one small segment of your life and feeling confident about it is probably that stepping stone to be able to then step in and conquer something a little bit bigger. And I think we do get overwhelmed with the big things that we're facing, but I guess we have to remember that you can't just, jump up to the fourth floor in one step. You've got to climb the steps a little bit, and that's always difficult.
Well, I think we all have challenges in our life. I mean, I know as we get older, some things get more difficult, some things get harder. But I think, coping tips are something that I really look for. And, and it's one of the reasons, too, that I started that website, Bouncing with Style, that I encourage everybody to check out. It's all the smart people that I've come across in the past 3 or 4 years who've guided me and helped me. And Jackie Silver is one of them. So you got to have some good coping tips, Jackie, because anybody who looks as young as you do has to know how to cope a lot better than the rest of us that have a roadmap on our face.
Well, first of all, you're all beautiful, so I don't know what you're talking about the roadmap, but yes, it does take some coping skills. And the great news is, and I think you'll agree with me, Robin, that some of this comes with age, As you get older, you let go of certain things. Like the one thing that we can all let go of right now, no matter how young or mid or anywhere you are, is caring what other people think about you, because what other people think about you is none of your business. I'm paraphrasing somebody's quote. But really, one thing that came with age that's really eased my mind a lot and helped me cope a lot is not to worry about what other people think. So whatever I'm wearing. I don't care what other people think about what I'm wearing. I always make sure what I'm wearing on the inside is much more beautiful than what I'm wearing on the outside. So the reason I bring that up is for anyone that needs coping mechanisms or coping tips is, number one, don't stress out about what other people think of you. That is such a huge one. And young people listening, military moms, you're sometimes home alone for long periods of time. If you need help, ask for it. Don't worry what other people might think. You just get rid of that right out of your life.
I absolutely agree with that. And I think that does come with some confidence. I think sometimes people who are, I don't want to say insecure, because that's not true. There are some people that are very strong in business or very strong professionally, but yet have a very, very deep struggle with issues sometimes personally. And I think there are times when you do have to have that sort of sense of self-esteem that is going to get you to that next level. And you're right, Jackie. I think unfortunately age has a little to do with it.
Yeah, age has something to do with it, but I wish someone had told me, when I was younger, stop worrying about what other people think of you.
Yeah.
But that is one big thing that you can change your mind about on your own. You can change your mind about worrying what other people think.
Right. And then I guess sometimes I've always been one to sort of make quick decisions and then go for it with conviction. There are a lot of times when you tarry over an issue and you say, is this the right way? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I think sometimes just making a decision is an accomplishment, and that can be difficult, but I think once somebody makes a decision, then you know what, you got to go for it. You do it, and then you've got a step forward instead of a step backwards.
Exactly. We like some things backwards, but we not a step backwards, right?
Right. Jackie, when you're looking at your year, do you really look ahead throughout your whole year? Do you really have a plan for that you have a direction or a goal that you're going to take yourself to? Or do you kind of look at short-term goals in your life?
I love that question. And actually, I'm kind of like a big picture person, so I don't plan all the details. I look to the end, and I see the end result. And then I kind of like to play it by ear and take it day by day, even though I said I like to be organized, and I do. But I like to do things day by day because you never know what's going to come up that could be something magical, and it's an opportunity that could change your whole life and your whole direction. But if you're so married to one plan that you made a year in advance, you could miss out on some great opportunities. So I really look more at the big picture. What do I want to accomplish this year? And then I do day by day the details, with the option that I can change my mind or change my plan or take an offer I didn't expect, those kinds of things.
That's wonderful. Today we're talking with Jackie Silver. She has been in dozens of videos on livestrong.com and ehow.com. She's also a feature writer on bouncingwithstyle.com. We want you to definitely check that out, along with a lot of our other wonderful authors that we have there. We are on militarymomtalkradio.com every week. You can find a lot of our podcasts there, all of our podcasts, as well as on iTunes, and as well as our host station right here, toginet.com. And we do hope that you'll stay with us this year. We have a tremendous lineup, so we want to make sure that you're tuning in every week and check out the website so you'll be able to know who's on, and check out our Facebook page. We'll be back in just a moment with Jackie Silver for the wrap-up of our show already here on Military Mom Talk Radio. Don't go away.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Join host Kaylin Amadio for Act Local, marketing for small business. Kaylin helps concerned, confused, and even clueless small business entrepreneurs market simply, safely, and successfully. Join Kaylin for some Monday morning marketing madness that will leave you with more ideas, more understanding, and more knowledge about why and how harnessing the internet gives you the power to bring your business to the next level. Whether you need help with online media, social media, video, or mobile marketing for your local business, this marketing black belt will guide you into the 21st century with easy tips, tricks, and techniques that get your local business seen and heard. Each week, Kaylin will feature a new tip that you can use today, as well as a range of guest experts who are passionate about helping local business owners thrive. Act Local, marketing for small business, airs every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Are you the kind of parent who just wants their kids to live the life of their dreams? Well, grab your kids and join How to Raise a Millionaire Radio with Ann Morgan James and Jack James. It's a lively interview and call-in show, Thursday, 6 p.m. Central on the Rockstar Radio Network. This dynamic mother and son team are on a mission. They want to empower kids to dream big and go after those dreams with gusto. They want to fill the world with kid entrepreneurs. Are your kids ready for success? Don't miss their fun antics, lively guests, and discussions. For more on Ann and Jack and their show, check out their website, howtoraiseamillionaire.com. Then join the conversation of lively interviews and call-ins. And let's give our kids the tools and encouragements they need to build a future they can bank on, no matter what the economy throws their way. It's How to Raise a Millionaire Radio with Ann Morgan James and Jack James. Thursdays, 6 p.m. Central on the Rockstar Radio Network.
We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and a statue of liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd, and our guest today is Jackie Silver of Aging Backwards, and we've talked a lot about reducing stress, how stress has an effect on our level of beauty, on our health, on our self-esteem, on our family life. Gosh, stress just really hits everything. And we talked a little bit about making resolutions or vision boards or a vision movie to help us guide us forward as we go into the new year. For those of you who missed the first 3 quarters of the show, I invite you to check us out on iTunes. We can be found under Military Mom Talk Radio on iTunes. We can also be found by the .com of the same name, MilitaryMomTalkRadio.com. You can download almost 200 hours of free military family-friendly programming that allows you to see what's out there, because, Rob, there are so many groups out there, and we're going to feature so many of them this year, and we're going to take our show in a little bit different direction this year in that we are going to bring on experts, like we brought on Jackie Silver to talk about aging backwards. And girls, before we went to the break, you guys were talking about Jackie taking a look at the big picture where she wants to go this year. Rob, what's your philosophy? And then I'll share mine.
My philosophy. You know, I think I do look at a big picture, but I think I am a little bit like Jackie in that I kind of look at where am I today and what can I do today and what can I accomplish today? Because yes, I guess there again, we keep kind of focusing on being a little bit older, but when you don't have little kids at home anymore, everything kind of comes back to you. So what's my impact in the world going to be today? If I have work that I need to make sure that I complete because I promised, then maybe that's my what I need to focus on. But I guess how am I going to feel fulfilled is, am I going to feel satisfied with the job that I did today? And that job could be anything from finishing baking bread from scratch to finishing the website that I need to finish for a client. I mean, it can be anything. But that's my focus. I'm more short-term than long-term, I guess.
See, and I'm going to share, because I think I'm in the trenches like most military moms are. You know, as a single mom, I'm doing this, raising my 2 kids on my own. I've got elder care issues. I have my 80-year-old dad that lives with me. And it's like being shot out of a cannon every morning. And I don't necessarily have the time to think about, like, what contribution do I make, because I'm, contributing breakfast, lunch, dinner, laundry, cleaning, shopping, carting the kids from place to place. But, at about 11:30 at night, when I take my shower or my bath and I just have like 5 minutes to stop for the day to think about me, which I'm always last on my list, which was one of my resolutions, not to be last on my list this year. There's a phrase that I've carried with me for years, and I wrote it on a Post-it, and it sits on my computer, and it sits on my kitchen cabinet, and also on my bathroom mirror. And it's really simple, and it says, what can I do today to get me to where I want to be? And when I stop and think for a minute, like, I don't want to carry this extra 25 pounds anymore. I don't want to have ratty hair and sweatpants and walk out the door. There's all these little things that I want for my life, and I can't get them done today or tomorrow, but I can take one little tiny step forward. I can, do that one walk in the park for 15 minutes. And yeah, it's not going to knock the 25 pounds off, but I will tell you, last year, all I did was change in my life a little bit of eating. I did an 80-20 rule, 80% fruits and vegetables, 20% meat and fats. And I walked in the park every day I could. I won't say I walked every day. I won't say I went 10 miles, but I am down 25 pounds just by those 2 simple things. And it took me the whole year. It wasn't impressive. It didn't come off in 1 week or 1 month. It came off over a calendar year, but I didn't have to kill myself to do it. And that was the one thing that, for me, when you're raising kids and you're in the throes, especially of a family, you got to take baby steps, and you do those baby steps and you will see results by the end of the year. Because if you take one small step, you have now taken 365 steps if you do it once a day towards your goal for the rest of the year. And that's pretty impressive, if I may say so myself.
It is very
impressed
impressive.
me.
And you should feel, and that's the accomplishment. That's actually exactly what Jackie and I are talking about, and just a little bit different perspective. It's just finding that small step that you can reach your bigger goal. So,
can I jump in here for a sec?
Absolutely. You're our guest. Go for it.
Well, I was trying to hold my tongue. I was so excited because I loved that you said it took me a year. And that brings me to one of my favorite things that I do in the beginning of the year, that I say to myself, if I look next year and say, what did I accomplish all year? Imagine if I start today, by next year, what I can look back on. So I look at next year and say, what can I start today that I can do every day and have something changed by next year? And it's a good way, even though you are taking it day by day, you're also looking at the big picture. Wouldn't it be great if I could start something today that by next year I can blank, lose 20 pounds, blank, move into a new home, blank, whatever it is to you. So start it today. Like you said, baby steps, and I love that. I always use that. Small little habits add up to big results.
Oh, I love that. I'm putting a new Post-it, small little habits. What is that, small?
Well, I usually say small baby steps add up to big results. But listen, I have another quick stress relieving tip to go back to our old subject, because I don't want us to run out of time for this. This is so important, and everyone listening has things they worry about. We all worry. And I once saw on a poster, and I may even have mentioned this on a previous time that I was on the show, but I love to bring it up because it so helps me, and I think it would help other people. Whenever you start finding yourself worrying about something, you can't even think straight, you're so worried, then you say to yourself, 90% of everything I worry about never happens. I can't tell you how many hours of worry that has saved me. When I repeat that and remind myself that I'm worrying for nothing, worrying is not going to help.
See, I think that's so important. I told my kid that I changed the number. I think I said 95%. But you're right. Most of the things we worry about never happen. And I'm going to give everybody a great tip when you're worried, because as a single mom with 2 kids, soul supporting, I worry a lot. I worry about the mortgage, the car payment, the health insurance, don't break your arm because I can't afford to fix it. And when I get in that mode, you know what I do, guys? I clean. I scrub stuff. I vacuum like a mad woman. I toss laundry in like, tomorrow, we're going to have to get on Noah's Ark. And even though it's a little bit like crazy lunatic, at least I'm not sitting around getting an ulcer.
Oh, believe me, girl, you're preaching to the choir on the cleaning, because I'm a total clean freak, and I find cleaning to be so therapeutic. And once your space is clean, it's like your mind is clean, right?
Mm-hmm. My desk is always organized. I can't say that my kitchen is, but my desk is always, always organized.
Wow. See, I kind of go into like I don't know, a pit. Like it starts to go down. It's like the kitchen's the first to go, and then the living room goes down, and then finally the office is just, and then I just have to have like my spaz freak and start cleaning and throwing stuff out, because nothing in my life right now is in moderation. I think when you have small children, you run from like spinning plate to spinning plate until you can get everything in equilibrium. And with little kids, you got to crash like every 6 minutes. But you keep going that way. And and I see some of my girlfriends get really, really frustrated, and I call it when you start to drown. And when I start to drown, that's when I clean. That's when I go to the park and run. And I don't care if I run like Phoebe and Friends and looks like just like the crazy runner. I don't care, because that worry, that stuff has energy, and that energy comes into our bodies, and if we don't release it, I swear that's where you get cancer, you get ulcers, you get headaches, you get tension, all these things that make it so hard for us to stay healthy. And when we don't feel good, we don't look good. And I'm going to throw the mic over to Jackie with that last thought.
Well, it came into my head when you were saying all those ailments that you get, and then I added at the end, you get wrinkles. Because, stress and worry causes wrinkles. So there are so many ways to relieve stress. And believe it or not, and I love cleaning. That's one of mine, too. A good way to relieve stress is to just close your eyes for 5 minutes. Take a few deep breaths where you inhale and then you exhale like longer. So inhale for 5, exhale for 7. Your breathing regulates a lot of the way you feel. And breathing brings oxygen into your body and just makes you feel better. So whenever you feel really, really stressed, I recommend just a 5-minute breathing break. You'll be so surprised at how much different you can feel from that.
What an amazing, just something as simple as that. And you're right, the oxygenation is something that we all need to make sure. I think we forget to breathe sometimes. You get stressed on something and your brow furrows and you stop breathing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jackie Silver, it's been a wonderful hour spending with you. We just love you. And if anybody else wants to feel the power of Jackie at any time of your week, go to agingbackwards.com and you will find all kinds of tips. You'll find her articles. You'll find links to all of the places that she has graced the web and everybody's lives because of all of the things that she says and does. Jackie, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me. And also don't forget bouncingwithstyle.com, because I'll be over there too.
Bouncingwithstyle.com. We'll look for your next article very shortly, as well as many other articles that'll be coming up. We're very proud of our involvement with that. Thank you so much for joining us today. Sandra and I will be back next week. I believe that we have a gentleman coming on next week with some interesting topics to discuss, and his name is Stephen Boyd. So tune in next week. We'll have some veteran correspondent news coming your way. Thanks for being with us today on Military Mom Talk Radio. Have a wonderful week, everyone.